Worship should be the center of any society. That's why the idea of Sabbath, whether fulfilled on Sunday or Saturday, is critical because for generations, it is the day when we stop activities that have to do with our daily needs and have time to think about how good God is to us, whatever you describe as God in that particular society, and allow us to think and meditate on His goodness and what He wants with our lives. A society which does not have a day of worship protected by the Constitution will be a society that will soon be going the wrong direction. When you talk about 24/7, and some people talk loudly about it 24/7, our economy is 24/7, means they have no breaks in the day, they work night and day, but they don't even have weekends. Work is normal throughout. Science is now teaching us that resulting in burnout and increased suicides because God's order is clear. You work for 6 days, earns you the right to have one day of rest, the day when you also think about God and worship. Is that the way your society is? So, is worship central to your family? Talk about it being central to society. Is it central to your family? Or has life become so busy that the family altar is no longer possible? You excuse, oh, Brother Nganga, it is impossible. We have to wake up early. We are going to school. I drop the school. I drop my wife. Oh my, it is a one terrible week. My friend, if in that busy life, you are likely to still be breaking for lunch and eating. Your family still eat supper and breakfast. You have time for it. Whatever is important to you, you always get time for it. If you remember that worship is central, should be central to you in your family, then you'll have food ready, but you'll not eat it until you have time, spend time with your family, reading God's word, listening to prayer items, and then praying together as a family. So your children grow knowing the most important item in the agenda of this family is the daily family altar. So even later in life, that's what the thing they'll miss. And if they ever begin a family, they'll think it is not a full family unless it has the family altar as a central pillar of that family. What about you as a person? Is worship central to you? And there are many ways of checking. Do you make decisions without prayer? Do you tend to believe in yourself? No, that's a new teaching. Have self confidence. So you believe in yourself and you don't see why disturb God. You know, in the Kikuyu religion, you did not disturb God with small matters. If your child is sick, you appeased the ancestral spirits. If there's a small problem, you appeased the ancestral spirits. Only when there was big drought, Did you go to pray to the God of Mount Kenya? So they had a God who could not be disturbed. The God of the New Testament, Jehovah, wants to have a walk with you, wants to be your friend. Jesus said, I don't call you servants, I call you friends. So ask yourself, how come you make decisions without seeking the mind of God? Do you have, in addition to the family altar, do you have a time when you yourself alone meditate on God's word and seek to pray, to take your family to God in prayer, not in their hearing, to take your issues to God? Let me ask you, do your subordinates know you are a Christian? If you had a spiritual problem, would they come to you? Or your Christianity is top secret? Is worship really central in your personal life? So, you have asked the question, is worship central in your society? Is worship central in your family? Is your worship central in your personal life? But let me ask you, is worship central in your business life? If you own a business, what is it that you are doing that makes that business be a vehicle God can use for evangelization of that neighborhood? Let me ask you, do you even pray together as a business? And although not everybody is Christian, do you tell them as an owner that those are the values of your business? And you tell people right before you recruit them? Do you not only pray, do they see you as a business owner take a stand that may end up losing you money as a business as they are watching because of ethical values? They know you are desperate for money. They know the business may not be doing well, yet you are not willing to make shortcuts. Then they realize in our business, Christ is central. Would rather collapse as a business than cut corners. I'm asking, is Christ central in your business life? Do your employees know it? In Joshua chapter 18, verse 1, we read, the whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The country was brought under their control. So they have finally selected a place to become the place of worship. And initially, it was not Jerusalem, it was Shiloh. That's where the tent, where the Ark of the Covenant was, which was the point where people used to come to pray, like Moses had taught them during the journey. It's now no longer moving. It's actually settled at Shiloh. And they are saying they have now selected a place and the country was brought under their control, under the Israelis' control. If the land of Israel was not their land. What what the commentary about how that settled they were? The whole assembly of Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The whole society revolved around worship, and they have selected it to be at Shiloh. Of course, later in the story of the Israelites, this centralness of worship for it fails. And by the time it fails, society also disintegrates. And they finally end up in a captivity. But as they began, it was clear what is central to them. And because it was central to them, the consequence is the land is under control. Can that be said of you? So it is important to have a place of worship. In the New Testament, we do not go to the temple. The Ark of the Covenant is no longer critical to us after the death of Jesus. The Bible says the curtain of the temple split into two. So now it's no longer possible to place people one place and they can't see the Holy of Holies. Because now there was no curtain. Declaring under the new covenant, all of us can take ourselves direct to God. But after that, we are told not to forget to assemble together with others in prayer. So it isn't really right for anybody to call themselves Christians and they do not have an assembly that they belong to. Just like these Israelites came to an assembly. Even in New Testament, Hebrews 10:24 is saying, hey, don't think just because you are worshiping alone, just because you are able to take yourself to God alone, you should go on alone. No, Christianity is both individual and corporate, and you must belong to a fellowship of believers who pray together. Hebrews is saying the, the sugar may be at the bottom. You require another person to stir it up. And so your life will become sweeter to all around you because you became part of a fellowship. Stir each other up to good works. That's why you need the fellowship. Not because they will add anything new, but they will stir you up to be tasteful to the rest of society. And that's important for the glory of God. So what have we learned? That there are many benefits if you make God and his worship the central figure of your life. What we learn? That even if you make God the central figure of your life, it doesn't mean that you become a monk and stay away from society. It means that in your business life, Christ will be reflected. Because you spend time in prayer alone, because you spend time in prayer with your family, by the time you go to the rest of society, your life will have spiritual impact on the people you are actually with. We have said because you make worship central in your life, it means that the things that you meet daily, the challenges you meet daily, you will not be meeting them alone. You have the courage of knowing you are not alone. God is with you. So you're able to say with Paul, I can do all things through Christ who give me strength. Because He is central in my life. And I'm not living my life for self, I'm living it to His glory. So there are real benefits for keeping God central in your life and His worship central in your life. There are also dangers. Because the moment it is Christ is not central in your life and you put him in the periphery, within no time, you will start gratifying the desires of your flesh. And that will pull you to a direction you never intended to go. But when he is central and you are conscious of your present, his present 24/7, you will live in the spirit and you will not gratify the desires of your flesh.